Hello and welcome to Forex London Session live stream. Today is 2nd of September and the day is Friday, the last day of the week. And first of all, we will do our analysis in gold and in GBP JPY. Alright, starting from monthly in gold, the previous monthly candle closed bearish and the current monthly candle created a lower wick and it got rejected from 1690 strong support area. And if we look at weekly time frame, the current weekly candle has moved all the way down. Today is NFP news in New York session, so we don't know how if we will reject from this area to 1725 or if we will continue pushing through this area. But just by looking at downside momentum, there is very high probability that we will break through 1680 support area. But it is just an anticipation and we will not trade NFP news candle, but we will trade once things get clear after that news number release. And if we look at daily time frame, the previous daily candle closed strong bearish and the current daily candle is moving up and there is wick left to be filled on daily time frame, which is around 60 pips away from the low of current daily candle. But the issue in here is we don't know if it is a rejection wick or if we will or if we will fill this wick. So we are very careful at this point. And if in H4 we have these two zones at 1700 area and 1692 area. And if we look back at 1 hour time frame, we are moving up slowly. And in my opinion, it is just a consolidation because we are moving up with little with small candle bodies. So I do believe that it is just a consolidation, but we are reaching a resistance level at 1700 area. So if we look at M30 time frame, the current M30 candle is 18 minutes old and it is about to close in 12 minutes. We want to see how this M30 candle will close. And the previous 15-minute candle closed bearish, but the trend overall H1 trend from previous 14 hours is bullish, and now we have one 15-minute candle which closed below the low of previous 15-minute candle, which may mean that we can move down, but it is, although it is a big range like 65 pips of range, but the issue in here is that we have big news coming in the afternoon. So maybe execution in gold doesn't make any sense. The reason being, if we look at 4 hour time frame, this wick right in here, which is like 60 pips, this 60 pips of wick, we didn't filled this wick on next 4 H4 candles. So maybe we are moving up as a retracement and create a resistance and fill this wick. But there are also some instances where wicks usually don't get filled, like right in here on 21st of July 2022, where we left a wick of around 150 pip and that wick didn't get filled. So maybe this is the similar type of wick because it has formed outside of our area of concern. So we will just wait, I will say. And looking at 5 minute time frame, there is no information. All I can see is that we have an uptrend in 5 minute time frame and in 1 minute. There is nothing I believe in sells for gold, at least for now, but we will wait for this M30 candle to close. We will not look at GBP JPY. Yet no, we will look at it because there is a trade in right in front of us. Alright, starting from monthly, the previous monthly candle closed with no information. It has rejection to the upside and to the downside of candle body. And weekly candle, there is no information, and in daily there is a little bit of information that we have created a support at 161.500 area. And looking at 4 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame, we have created a support and we are now moving up. Yeah, at 161.200 this is a support, and we have another resistance in H4 at 161.700 area. And if we look at 1 hour time frame, we will readjust these zones. Yeah, this is our zone, and yes, that is our buy trade, but we are little bit late on this trade, but still I will execute by placing a stop loss of 27 pips. Now the issue right in here is that we are approaching this area. I wanted to execute a trade. So what I will do, I will place my buy stop above this area. Once if our order gets activated, we will place a stop loss of 30 pips in an anticipation that we are going to do a in an anticipation that we will continue pushing up. I wanted to execute trade at 162 area, but since that didn't happen, I am late in my execution. In GBP JPY, I am waiting for prices to execute to break above 162.200 area so that I can execute buys. But on the other hand, I am also concerned about the candle closing in around 3 minutes. I also want M30 candle to close so that I can execute buys above 162.200 area. So our yeah, those buys will make sense, but I am also waiting for this M30 candle to close, and if the next M30 candle starts to break above 162.200 area, I will execute buys for potential take profit of 30 pips. And in the meantime, in GBP USD, there is a lot of concern. It is a lot of consolidation, plus there is a wick right at the bottom, and if I look at in bigger time frame, I will show you what that means. If we look at these wicks usually get filled after it was created in 2016 and it gets filled in like 2020 after 4 years. Since we are approaching at that same area, so I am little bit concerned about these wicks because they may not get filled on same trading day. So I will rather wait in Euro USD, GBP USD and gold for NFP news in New York session, because it is very difficult and very uncertain where prices can move for now. I am only looking at GBP JPY at this point. If we break above 162.200 area for buys, I am not looking for any other thing. I am not looking for sells. The reason being, even if we break below this low, it is only like 18 pips of sell trade. So I am looking for buys for now once we break above this week. On the same time, I am also waiting for M30 candle to close. This is like 27 pips of stop loss. Yeah, M30 candle closed. M30 candle closed with the closed above the zone, but it has closed with little to no wick, but still we will execute. So I have placed my buy stop. I will execute this trade once we start to break above this high. My stop loss on this trade will be 30 pips, and yeah, planning to secure like 29 28 pips from this trade, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, trade got active. Now we will just wait for candles to close, waiting for M15, M30 candles to close. We are now just waiting for prices to continue pushing up. But that trade may not work out also, so we are also ready to book our loss at 162 area, which is around 15 pips away from current market prices, and we'll call it till London session at that time and come back later in New York session. Now it is just a wait game. Now we need to wait for M15 and M30 candle to close. Oh, and if we look at gold, there is no information. I also don't want to execute buys at this level because we have already moved up a lot. And the price action right in here is I don't like price action in gold and GBP USD also. It is almost similar, and Euro USD also. I don't want to execute any trade in these pairs, nor do I want to anticipate where prices can potentially move. So we will give them a time to settle up. We will just focus in GBP JPY, and it is our last trade for this London session, and I am waiting for few more minutes on this trade, and we'll see how this M15 candle will close, and we'll decide what to do after this M15 candle will close. If we look at GBP JPY, we can see that we are still at the same level of this wick to left. We haven't broken above that yet, although we broke above and closed back in. So we will need to wait for just 5 more minutes. In 5 minutes we will see how this M15 candle will close, and I believe that in 5 minutes we will get a bias where prices can move, and yeah. I am planning to close my position, most of it. If 15-minute candle closes like this with a little bit red candle, 15-minute candle closed like this, closed a large percentage of my position, placed this stop loss at 161.900. I am still anticipating prices for to keep pushing up. That's why I am letting a small percentage of this position run, and I will not execute any other position on this trade, and if it runs, it runs. There is very little to no volume in GBP JPY, the reason being NFP news coming in 5 hours from now. All right. At this point, I will just call it a London session. We took one trade, and that was a losing trade. Initially risked around 18 US dollars on this trade, but managed my risk. And if now I lose this entire position, I will be losing around 6 US dollars. And if it hit our take profit, I will be closing this trade in break even. So yeah. All right, I will see you guys in New York session.